The search for the second suspect in the Boston Marathon bombings in progress right now after an incredible series of events as police try to make a capture. The latest, our top story on News 13 at 4:30.
From the Samsung Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Kathy Basinski. Here's what we know now in this story, which continues to unfold in and around the Boston area. Special teams from federal, state, and Boston area police continue to search for the second suspect in the bombings. Since their photos were released last night, the two suspects in the Boston Marathon bombings, brothers originally from Chechnya and what was the Soviet Union, robbed a convenience store, killed an MIT police officer, committed a carjacking, and hurled explosives at police in a car chase and gun battle overnight. One brother, suspect number 1, Tamerlan Tsarnaev, was killed in that firefight. Investigators found a suicide mechanism strapped to his body. The other brother, suspect number 2, 19-year-old Dzhokhar Tsarnaev, escaped. He's considered extremely armed and dangerous. In all of Boston and several suburbs, about 650,000 people are on lockdown as special teams do a block-by-block grid search. At this point, investigators don't believe their actions are tied to religion or their homeland, and they're searching for a motive for their terror attack. It's perhaps the ultimate irony or case of karma, but investigators say the bombing victim, whose picture in a wheelchair with his legs blown off horrified and captivated America, apparently played a role in identifying the two bombers. Police say Jeff Bauman, who lost both his legs in the Boston attack, was still in intensive care after surgery when he woke up, gestured to his brother for a pen and paper, and wrote, "Bag, saw the guy, looked right at me." Afterward, he gave the FBI the spot-on description of one of the suspects, telling him that he wore a cap, sunglasses, and a black jacket over a hooded sweatshirt. He told them that he locked eyes with the attacker as he placed the bomb-filled bag at the finish line. Moments later, that bag exploded, killing 3 and taking Bauman's legs. Jeff Bauman is recovering. All across the country today, people were fixated on televisions and live streams on their computers, watching the unbelievable developments in the hunt for the brothers behind the bombing. Christina Palma spoke with first responders and others in the area to get reaction as the events were unfolding.
McAdoo firefighters were glued to the TV this morning. They watched on in suspense as the FBI, SWAT team, and Boston police closed in on the alleged Boston bombers.
I actually think it's disgusting. You know, at this point in time, for all the innocent people that they did harm to.
McAdoo firefighter Bob Leshko has responded to countless emergency calls in his career. He doesn't understand how the alleged bombers could have no regard for others' lives.
People put their lives on the line every day. People are responding to it and set off a second device. They were meant to harm the responders, which is totally, in my mind, just something unthinkable. And they'll get what they deserve when this is all done and over.
And folks have the same reaction here at Jimmy's today, where customers say they're still shocked about Monday's tragedy.
You know, what they did or what they allegedly have done is just devastating to Boston, and it hurts everybody. Reports
say the two young suspects, originally from Chechnya, have been in the country for several years on student visas. As of now, they have no ties to their home country. Stan Trella from McAdoo watched the reports coming in as he ate lunch in Hazleton this afternoon. He thinks this is another reason why the U.S. immigration needs to be more careful with who they let into the country.
Well, I think just like illegal immigration, that topic, they need to be a little bit more vigilant about who they let in. And just because people are coming for an education doesn't mean that they're good people.
Hazleton resident Rosella Sheppard was emotional as she spoke about the tragedy in Boston. She hopes this chase ends with an arrest so officials can find some answers and families can find closure.
I think it's a sad situation that we live in for fear every day. I hope they catch the other brother alive so they would have information about any other terror cells.
Christina Papa, News 13, Greater Hazleton.
Since the bombings and now the hunt for the bombers, we've seen pictures of special police squads dealing with the terror and tracking the suspects. What are they doing and how do they approach their job? Stephanie Gorney spoke with a member of Hazleton's Special Operations Group to find out.
Since the suspects were first identified, federal, state, and local special police teams have been on the manhunt. Armored vehicles full with heavily armed, heavily protected special weapons and tactics, or SWAT teams, tracked one alleged brother and systematically pursued the other man on the run.
You have many tactical teams from outside the area responding up there, and they're going to be cordoning off the area, searching building to building. It's going to be a very precise operation where they're going to look in every shed, every house within the cordoned area.
These tactical teams are prepared to deal with any situation and proceed with caution to obtain the safest resolution to this horrible occurrence.
You know, officer safety, community safety is first and foremost. You're dealing with someone who has, you know, the potential having a suicide vest or explosives. So it's not a normal occurrence for most law enforcement. I would think the mentality would be that, you know, they're proceeding with caution, that they're looking for the safety of everybody involved.
The SWAT teams will continue to work around the clock until every threat to the public is eliminated and the suspect is brought in. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Hazleton.
A manhunt that had been going on in our area has ended. 30-year-old Clyde Tonkin, a convicted sex offender who was on the run for 4 days, is back in custody. Investigators say they used a confidential informant who convinced Tonkin to come to the Turkey Hill in Exeter to meet the person who posted his bail last week. Tonkin skipped out on his trial after apparently cutting off an electronic monitoring device, and he escaped house arrest on Monday. Even though he was not in the courtroom, Tonkin was found guilty on Tuesday of having sex with a 14-year-old girl. Police say he had been hiding in a wooded area near Exeter for the past 3 days. Fire investigators in Hazleton now say the cause of that fire, which ravaged a motorcycle shop on Wednesday afternoon, was accidental. Investigators believe that the fire at Holeshot Cycle on South Church Street was sparked by a battery charger or the motorcycle to which it was connected. They say the greased tires and other lubricants helped fuel the raging blaze. Officials estimate that at least 40 motorcycles, dirt bikes and ATVs were destroyed in that blaze. The owners of Holeshot Cycle say they will continue to sell parts and accessories and do repairs out of the portion of the property that wasn't damaged by the fire. A special tribute to responders at one local fire department is almost complete. Today, crews placed a memorial stone sponsored by the McAdoo Fire Department right in the center of downtown McAdoo. The stone reads, "In memory of those who came before us and those who still remain proud to serve our community." It was set up so generations can remember and appreciate the work and service that men and women have provided for the community. Firefighters hope to sell the red and tan bricks in front of the monument to help fund the project. Community members will be able to have the stones engraved with special messages.
There are two styles of bricks here. One is an 8x8 brick, and it costs $100. Another style is a 4x8 brick, and it costs $50. And they can have their names etched on it, deceased and living, to honor in memory of their people.
Families can also have their names etched on the bricks. You don't have to be in the armed forces or part of the fire company to buy a brick. And coming up on News 13, a new level of luxury comes to a casino resort in our area, how you can pamper yourself. But a nasty insect could be headed straight into your home. No pampering it. We'll tell you what to do just ahead on News 13. Well, you may have found one of these smelly 8-legged friends in and around your home in the past couple of weeks. Christina Papa went on the hunt for that pest today to find out what all the stink's about.
He may be a smelly house guest, but he means you no harm.
The only reason they're really into our home is they don't want any type of food at all there. With the sun beating on our house, everything really starting to wake up. Now we're seeing them.
Exterminator Brian Seitz is talking about this little stinker. It's a brown marmorated stink bug, but most folks know the 8-legged critter as just the stink bug.
Stink bugs are an insect that was introduced here several years ago and is actually surviving our winters, and we're having a tough time controlling them.
Brian says the shielded bug has been hiding in homes all winter. So if folks are seeing them inside their homes, it's because the stink bug is ready to leave the house to find warmer weather outside. Brian says the stink bug isn't dangerous to humans, just smelly.
As of now, they don't have any type of diseases that they carry. They do have a smell to them, and it's just a protective from other prey to them, but they don't cause it. As of now, there is no studies that show that they carry any diseases, cause any damage to our homes, except for a nuisance. They're really classified as a nuisance pest.
Now that pesky stink bug may be an issue for some folks in their homes, but one Penn State educator says it's an even bigger burden for farmers.
Yeah, farmers they always have some losses to insects, and that's just kind of part of farming.
John Esslinger helps commercial horticulturalists with their fruit and vegetable crops around the area. He says the stink bug isn't really a pest until later on in the season.
about midsummer, they tend to switch over to where they actually move into be a pest of, first we see them in peaches, and then from there they'll go into apples and tomatoes, peppers, sweet corn, a lot of different crops.
Brian says if you see a stink bug in your home, you can call an exterminator, but the best thing to do is catch it and then release it outside. Christina Papa, News 13, Greater Hazleton.
And time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar, looking nasty out there, and that will help explain why the National Weather Service has issued a tornado watch for most of northeastern central Pennsylvania, including Luzerne and Schuylkill counties. Once again, a tornado watch for Luzerne and Schuylkill counties now in effect. Our creative condition, though, no stormy day here. It's by Jacob Mummy, a second grader at Valley Elementary, and he drew a beautiful day with blue skies and lots of sunshine, and he's outside playing with a jump rope. Can't do that at this minute. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton. Tonight, showers and possibly a thunderstorm. Some of those storms could produce gusty winds, heavy rain. Once again, tornado warning in effect. Or watch rather, excuse me, tornado watch. Low around 42 degrees. And for Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 47. Clear and cold at night though, with the low going down to 23. And for Sunday, sunny with a high near 50. Nighttime low still down to 33 degrees. Monday, partly sunny with a high near 51. Chance of showers at night, low down to 37. Tuesday, mostly cloudy with a high of 52. On to Schuylkill County tonight, showers and thunderstorms. Some of those storms could produce heavy rainfall, and again, under a tornado watch in Schuylkill County as well, low down to 42 degrees. For Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 52. At night, some widespread frost, believe it or not, with a low down to 22. If you already did some planting, cover it up. Sunday, sunny with a high near 51. Nighttime low still down to 36. Monday, mostly cloudy, a chance of drizzle during the late afternoon and evening with a high of 52. Rain or drizzle at night with a low around 37. And Tuesday, cloudy with a high near 57. Well, there's a new place to relax and recharge in the area, and it's at one of the biggest entertainment centers in our region. Matthew Petrillo has more on a new partnership at the Mohegan Sun Casino.
I ask that you help me count down to get the tree lifted.
Crews hoisting up this tree on top of the new Hotel and Convention Center marks the next chapter for the building. It's the end of steel construction.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And the beginning of new 5-star services and luxury.
It's very dynamic, so there are several things that we're very proud of. 20,000 square foot convention space is wonderful because we'll be able to seat at least 850 people for dinner. We'll be able to have shows for 1,500 people. We'll be able to host conventions.
People in the area might already be familiar with the casino inside the Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs. It's owned by the Mohegan Tribe of Indians of Connecticut, and its chairman says the new amenities will bring new jobs to the community.
We try to buy everything local to build the place, use local help. Anything that we can't find locally, we have to go out of state, of course, but then there'll be a few hundred employees added on to the payroll full-time once the hotel is open to keep the place running and keep it clean.
To date, more than 54,000 man-hours have already gone into the project.
We're going to be employing about 250 people on a permanent basis, so we're proud of the job creation that this hotel brings.
The spa, called Spa Sapphire, is privately owned and operated and will encompass more than 4,000 square feet.
We're going to be including massages, facials, couple suites, along with whirlpool, along with salt rooms and state-of-the-art technology when it comes to the spa industry.
The spa also has a location in Pittston, and it, with the entire complex, is expected to open this coming fall. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Wilkes-Barre.
Still ahead, plenty of spring sports teams trying to stay out of the spring weather. Fred Barletta with what's on and what's not on for tonight, just ahead on News 13 Sports.
SSPTV Sports on News 13 with Fred Barletta Jr. and Ron Marchetti.
We're trying to dance around the weather again today. It's one of those iffy days, but the iffy part, well, it was clear right up until about now, so they're going to try to get the games in. Here's what we've got on the schedule, and everything is a go. At least they're trying to get it going. Let's talk baseball. Marion, Nativity, they're squaring off. Remember, this is Marion's 4th consecutive game, 4 consecutive days. Blue Mountain is at Tamaqua, Weatherly at Mahanoy area. Now, in softball, there is some Wyoming Valley Conference games, and one of them is right here in Hazleton as the Lady Cougars are hosting Wyoming area. Meanwhile, MMI, they're playing Holy Redeemer up in the valley. Blue Mountain Tamaqua in the Schuylkill League. Now, as far as track, this is going to be a go, even if they get some sprinkles. First of all, the boys, they are at the Misericordia Invitational up in the back mountain. The girls, meanwhile, are at one of the long-standing traditional ones in the Schuylkill League. That'd be the Mount Carmel Invitational. So they're going to be a go, even if they do get some shaky weather. As far as tennis, Hazleton area and Holy Redeemer, and MMI, Notre Dame of East Stroudsburg. Volleyball, weather is never a problem. Berwick, Hazleton area. Now, let's recap yesterday. Some very big developments, particularly in high school baseball. Let's start out by telling you that Anthony Hernandez looked every bit the ace yesterday as he two-hit the Holy Redeemer Club yesterday. And Hazleton pounded out 6 runs and made the most of it. And they advance with that win over Redeemer. Now, why the developments are big is this second score. Take a look here. Tunkhannock. They jumped out to a 4-1 lead, held on. They beat Berwick 7-6. That's the first loss of the season by the Berwick Bulldogs. Now, what does it all mean? Here's what I want to show you, folks. We could start taking a look at the standings. We've now played enough games. And you see with that loss, Berwick, they're 5-1 in the conference. And Hazleton area right there, 5-2. Now, everybody else is at 500 or below in Division 1. The surprise is Valley West. They're normally one of the pace setters. They're off to a slow start this year. As far as MMI, well, they're in the pack with everybody else not named Hanover. Take a look. Hanover area, they're at 5-0. They're showing they're the team to beat, but boy, the Preppers are hanging tough. Let's go to softball, where no one has the record that the Lady Cougars do. They're at 6-0, by far the best record in the conference, but Nanticoke lurking, as we see. And the MMI Lady Preppers, they're hanging at 1-3, Redeemer Northwest, undefeated in Division III, Wyoming Valley Conference softball. We thought you might like to check that out because it's very tough to find the standings anywhere. There you have them. We bring them to you. Anyhow, Schuylkill League, Pine Grove, they take care of business against North Schuylkill. In softball, Williams Valley showing why they're the team to beat as they shut out Monoy area. Lords Regional puts a hurt on the Marion Phillies. Never usually see that with Marion. Volleyball, Nanticoke wins the best of 5, 3-2. Hazleton area takes care of Tunkhannock as Donald Tedesco put on a very nice performance yesterday. Not much to tell you about with Russ Kanzler because they're starting to pitch around him. The way he's swinging the bat, no surprise. He walked 3 times, but he did go 1 for 2 in an RBI. His Norfolk team winners. A wild one last night out in Akron. Kyle Landis stayed in the bullpen. He didn't pitch. The Rail Riders get upended by 1. The Iron Pigs win big. And there is your minor league schedule for today. And as we said, hopefully the rain stays away the rest of the day and we get all these events in. End of the week, and well, you know what that means. You got to head up to Bottlenecks. It's the all-night happy hour. They got half-price apps and drink specials from open to close, and that includes the huge imported beer selection, pool dart, shuffleboard, kitchen open until midnight. And they got those 14 flat-screen TVs. Get up, and you're going to watch the games tonight up at Bottlenecks. They sponsor us right here on SSPTV.
Patriots Day in Boston started out as a day of celebration, a holiday officially dedicated to freedom. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Short Shots. And then, at 2:58 p.m. on Monday, bulletins from Boston, Mass. flashed on TV screens across America. 2 bombs have exploded near the finish line at the Boston Marathon, where the thick stream of runners was flowing in, and mothers and brothers and lovers and kids were waiting to cheer for them as they crossed that famous line on Boylston Street in Beantown. The blast turned the area around the finish line into a scene of horror. The sidewalks littered with shattered glass, blood, and severed limbs. This incident would be explainable in Baghdad, but not here. Certainly not on this day, not at this time. How could this be? How could anything be? There's no answer. That horrific incident happened on the day after Adam Scott defeated Angel Cabrera in a 2-hole playoff to win the Masters golf tournament. Tiger Woods played well, but finished 4 strokes back. Scott is the first Australian to ever win the Masters. Locally, Trivial Pieces masterpieces are playing like a locomotive out of control. That's the Hazleton area Lady Cougars softball team. After edging a good Nanticoke Club 2-1 on Monday, the Lady Cougars liquidated Lake Lehman on Wednesday to stay unbeaten at 7-0. They are young, good, and playing well. The Hazleton area baseball team handed Dallas their first loss at Rex Antonosi Field the day after losing to Berwick, and yesterday beat Redeemer, so they're 6-4. Marion won 2 of 3 this week, losing on Monday, but then whipping Weatherly on Tuesday, and then the Colts erased a 6-0 deficit into a 9-8 win over Mauna area. The Colts are 3-3. The Marion Phillies split 2, they're 4-2. The Lady Wreckers of Weatherly also split a pair, they're 2-5. MMI's baseball team defeated GAR and Myers. The Preppers are 4-2. In softball, the Lady Preppers lost to GAR, but they beat Myers. And Hazleton area and MMI both lost to Berwick in tennis. What else? The Hazleton area Lady Cougars track and field team claimed the Olympian Invitational at Jim Thorpe High School last Friday night, but they lost their first meet of the season to Pittston area on Wednesday. However, the boys did win to stay unbeaten. Kobe Bryant of the Lakers tore his Achilles tendon to end the season, but the Lakers did earn the last playoff spot and will open against San Antonio in the postseason. Legendary NFL announcer Pat Summerall died this week. He helped call 16 Super Bowls and was part of PGA major golf tournaments for 26 straight years. He was also quite a good place kicker for the Chicago Cardinals and the New York Giants, kicking for over 500 points. America was quite comfortable with Pat Summerall behind the mic for many, many Sundays. He was 82. Till Monday, be a good sport, stay loose.
And that's News 13 for your Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. You can catch this newscast again with rebroadcast throughout tonight, or just go to News 13's website anytime, SSPTV.com, where you'll always find the local and regional news you need and the community news you want. For the entire News 13 team, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Basinski. Have a great weekend.